Hi, this is Spring is the Action. Here is our second episode of Fanboy Talk. Here, myself, Roel, and my colleague, one of the member from Spring is the Action, Nathan.
Howdy everyone, how's it going?
Nathan, how you been doing? What's going on with you, man?
Oh, not too much, man. Just recovering from an ankle injury. I should be healed up hopefully by January, but I will be there at the latest Rocky Mountain shows at the end of December, and hopefully the new one at the Pepsi Center on, I believe it was the January 8th that it was.
I think so. Yeah. We got an episode that we probably had to tend to end of December, and everything. So yeah, if you guys want to know about Spring is the Action, click like, subscribe at Facebook, and also here at YouTube channel Spring is the Action. So the thing is that Nathan, I know Preston's not here, and I know he's been sick and everything, because wish that he can speed up and have a good recovery. But yeah, Preston, if you hear this, just wish you well and hope we'll see you in the next episode. But first thing first, Nathan, what got into you in wrestling? What is the first person or a tag team that got you inspired, like in wrestling?
Well, I used to watch it when I was not very little, but then I had to break away with it because my mom and my dad got a divorce. So I'm like, what can I go to watch? And wrestling came on TV. I'm like, what's this? I was like, I want to do this. This is cool. Like, you seeing someone like getting hit with a ladder, or like something that's like, man, just to be there. You want to be there live, but just seeing it on TV, man, just goosebumps. When you're seeing someone like reach for that gold off the ladder, whether it's a championship, a contract for a WrestleMania title shot, man, just the feeling of being on top of the world. You can imagine how that would feel, being at WrestleMania or a pay-per-view, and there's crowds all around you chanting your name to win that title or championship or briefcase.
That sounds interesting, because from my first episode I did with Preston, let me remind you again, like the first thing that it my experience watching wrestling on TV, the first thing I caught was Hulk Hogan and versus Sergeant Slaughter, and then that was like WrestleMania 7, I believe. Yeah, and that got me inspired because, number one, Hulk Hogan was like, you could say like the Michael Jordan of the 80s, when everybody expired when you were kids, right? And that's how I grew up wrestling until now, because of Hulk Hogan. And you know Hulk Hogan, right?
Of course, brother.
Okay, first thing first, since this is episode 2, our topic for today is, well, it's December, and you know what December is, right?
TLC.
Of course, it's the TLC that is coming this Sunday, December 15, I believe, right on the WWE Network or pay-per-view and such. And about this TLC, do you remember how it first started? Do you remember who made TLC? Who's the one that got the name? You know what TLC means, right?
Tables, ladders, and chairs?
Yeah. Not Tender Love and Care. Not the band, T-Boss Left Eye and Chili.
Or not the TLC channel you get on.
Well, it's the TLC means tables,
ladders,
and chairs. So, the match we're going to go watch right now in just a few moments, it's the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian. And I believe it's WrestleMania 17.
I think you're right.
Yes. So before we get to watching that match and
we're gonna go back in time.
Yeah, we're gonna go back in time and relive that match. So when we set up and everything, before that, um, as you can see, I have these three shirt that which of us is gonna represent, just for fun,
Right.
So as you can see, I have t-shirts of the Hardys, Edge. Well, I don't have a Christian shirt, and I got the Dudleys. So before we get to that, I'll start with Nate here. What do you got? Who are you gonna represent while eating?
Oh man.
You got the music too. Let's play the music. Oh.
I'm gonna have to choose
I heard the music. But you know who it is.
the heart.
Nice. All right. Yeah.
What about you, man?
Okay. Wish we had a third person.
You hear that, Michael? You hear that, Preston? Get your tailbones over here.
If we have a third person that they can pick the third shirt, but okay. Now, here's the thing: who I'm going to pick, just to enjoy this match. Here it goes. Cue, please. Edge and Christian. Speaking of which, okay, about these two tag teams, I think they're both are the biggest rivalry in the Attitude Era for these two teams. What do you think? All right, Edge, wearing Edge. Now you got the Hardys. You all right? Yeah. So
This
now
was,
we got.
this was one of my favorite rivalries of all time.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, you got two great teams with the same passion, a tag team championship.
Oh yeah. All right then. Well, since we both got our shirt ons and we both are ready to watch WrestleMania 17, the TLC match, stay tuned with us. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and me and Nate are going to be here watching the famous TLC match here at in our living room.
No one has ever gone before. All about that. The WWF Tag Team titles hanging high above.
That's a classic right there with those tag team belts. There you go. There's your boys right there. You're looking for. Damn, that's smart. Did that happen or not yet? Why was Lita not in this picture?
She was injured by Rhino.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Rhino attacked her before the match. Before the match happened.
Was this? Oh yeah, it was not yet. The Alliance, right? You remember this? What's Oh.
And that's why you want to wear a cup when that would happen. See, they need to bring back this camera right here. Especially during better matches. Spike Dudley.
I forgot that he was also a member of the Doubles.
Same here. I did too.
Say it's more deadly.
See, there's Lita right there.
Twice.
Oh, rub it in.
Sacrifice that Jeff Hardy just made to take out.
One of the biggest moments right here. Oh, that was one of the biggest moments since right now.
One of you talk about ladder matches, you hear about that famous spear that Edge did on Jeff Hardy in WrestleMania 17 right there. You still talk about it today.
Yeah. That was like, you'll see that. Look at that.
I mean, you're way up in the air, dude. I mean, you're going to. I mean,
Just to relive that moment.
remember this moment?
Oh yeah, please don't try this at home.
Oh, man, I gotta give it to you, man. Having the one of the like Edge and Christian.
There you go, Edge and Christian. You have it, folks.
Congratulations.
You know, actually, I did forget who won this match. I thought it was the Hardys, but by correction, it's Edge and Christian.
Just watching this match makes me proud to be a fan. You know,
Oh, definitely, yeah.
so it's about taking risks, knowing what your characters are, what kind of fighting styles do they wrestle with.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
So much more, you know. Just
Yeah.
small things.
After this, we'll talk about that. There's a lot of things we're gonna talk about TLC, especially this match.
But you know, you're seeing that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
You know, you-
we're back.
You get very slowly
after
get
watching,
the new
The
talent.
famous TLC match at WrestleMania 17 with the Dudley Boyz, Edge and Christian, and the Hardy Boys. Nathan, give me your opinion about the famous match what we just saw earlier today.
After watching it, like I said, I'm still proud to be a fan today.
Mm-hmm.
And just the thought of going through, whether it's tables or getting hit with a chair or a ladder, I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing today right now. Because that looked like that hurt.
You don't see that much often nowadays, right?
You don't see headshots. You don't see, but you don't see that much carnage today versus 2000. Was it one?
Okay. First thing first, the word TLC. Each TLC named tables, ladders, chairs. My question is, do you know who owns the tables originally, who owns the ladders originally, and who owns the chairs originally? So, who got the tables? You know who it is, right?
Well, you're gonna have to refresh my brain because it's been a while.
Okay.
Dudley's. So
Dudley's.
that's right.
Because Dudley's are originally for tables.
That's where you hear, "Get the tables."
What about the ladders? We know who's originally famous for ladders.
The Hardys enjoyed it, wasn't it first? But
Yeah, it was.
But before them, wasn't it like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels?
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about the match here.
Okay.
So it was the Hardys.
Yep.
And then, of course, chairs. Because why, now you know, Edge and Christian was, I say chairs, is because, remember the famous using the Chinkirto? How you say that? Where they bash each other, like at the same time?
Oh.
Chinkirto, something like that, right?
I think you're right. Yes.
So the thing is that why they call it TLC, especially this match, is because all those three members are famous by each equipment.
Yeah, by each subject, by each thing. Like you said, the Dudleys were tables, ladders for Hardys, and chairs for Edge and Christian.
Mm-hmm. So, what was your opinion? So, what's the famous thing about Dudley's using the tables? What's their famous for? What stunts they do with the tables?
Well, in that matchup we saw Rhino literally smash one of the Dudleys and Matt Hardy through the 4 tables set up?
Yeah.
Just, whew, man, you're flying through the air. You're not knowing what's happening next. and you're on the ground, all on carnage. You know, that's
Okay, tables, because with the Dudleys, they use a lot of things. 3D, putting people like through tables, like power bomb through a
Yep.
table. That's why they always use the tables.
yeah.
Right?
Team 3D, right? Wasn't that
Yeah.
their finisher name?
Mhm.
They would always put people through them all the time.
What about the Hardys? What is the thing that? Why does the Hardys been using their famous ladders? Why? What do you think?
Well, we saw in the match again, like you said, we saw Jeff Hardy do swanton on top of a ladder through a table, through what was it, Spike Dudley and Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Again, wow, you're talking about Jeff Hardy could have gone for the win. Instead, he decides to do a swanton over two members, and oh my goodness, and then more carnage. Like I said, we don't see that today, but we saw future matches with TLC. The Hardys winning. It's just crazy how quickly one object can cement a team's legacy. Like we said, with the ladder or chair or vice versa.
And what about chairs? What about chairs with Edge and Christian? What do you think that will inspire you that Edge and Christian are they're known for chairs? What do you think of your opinion about that one?
Well, I would say chairs. They're a good weapon. They could bring down the opponent. Like a chair shot. You're back on your knee for a big dude.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays we see like Braun, get hit with the chair, and he doesn't really feel it much. He only goes on one knee. You see these other, like back in the day, man, you get hit with a chair in the head, you're down, like you're unconscious.
Okay, between the tables, ladders, and chairs, if you were in a wrestling match, what is the most painful object you think out of those three objects that is painful, like to get hit on?
Well, if I could bring a weapon to a ring, I bring a ladder. I don't like heights, but hey, and it gets the job done. You could hit people with it. You could break the ladder on someone that like back in the day, we'd see another TLC match where Jeff Hardy would use a ladder as a weapon when he would do his Whisper of the Wind onto someone. That would remember that broke Mercury's nose.
Oh yeah, that's right.
When it was Johnny Nitro and Joey Mercury versus the Hardys for the SmackDown Championship, Tag Team Championship, and Hardy did one of his moves, broke Mercury's nose.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you?
I would say the most painful. I would say is the chair. Chair is like when you just get hit because it's metal, right? Anybody can carry that around and just, and then you be stunned. But ladders, ladders is a fun equipment, but to me it's like it's not that. It is painful, but it's not like 100%. It will just hurt you, and then suddenly you're just like, okay. But when you hit the chair, you're like, okay, that totally shocked me, And that's what's my opinion about. If I had a weapon that if I get hit on, it would be the chair. And okay, my next question is sticking with TLC, today's wrestling. Who would be the perfect fit by you? Because let's say we have, the Dudleys, the Hardys, Edge and Christian. Now today's wrestler, who will be the perfect fit by using a table? Who will be perfect using a ladder? Who will be perfect using a chair? Who do you think?
Well, that's a very good question. For all three, I'm gonna start with the table. I would say Braun Strowman.
That's okay. What
I mean, maybe I that's just one that came off my head. Ladders, I would say since WWE signed John Morrison again with his Starship Pain, that's one I would choose for my ladders, and then probably for my chair I would choose past or present I would choose Seth Rollins, honestly.
Yeah,
because he turned he always used chairs for just recently when he turned heel this last Monday on Raw, anything he can grab his hands on, he'll use it against his opponents.
What about a tag team? Because here's my opinion on a tag team. Let's say tables. That'd be perfect if AOP like say the Dudley passed the torch to AOP by using the tables.
Sure, I get done with that. I agree.
Okay, with the ladders, let's say, ladders, who will pass the torch? Like the Hardys will pass the torch by using a ladders at a TLC. Who do you think?
That's a tough one. If it was a team,
Let's see who is a team right now that probably a good team. Something like who's the tag team champion? Ooh, I got one. Maybe the Usos.
yeah, I agree.
If the Usos were back at WWE TV, you Usos will be a perfect fit.
Oh, absolutely.
If the Hardys can
because the the Hardys and the Usos, they're high flying. So I agree as well. That for a ladder, absolutely.
And speaking, what about the chairs? So who would Edge and Christian will pass 2 days for using the significant chairs if they are in the TLC? Who do you got?
Ooh, that's another tough one. There's good teams out there. They just don't use them very much.
Let me see. Who do you think? Somebody that been using the chairs nowadays. Who might that be? A tag team that it can be good for Edge and Christian to pass. Maybe the
Revival, maybe?
Revivals?
I would say that's a good fit because they use chairs a lot.
And who's another tag team?
I would say also maybe in NXT, the Undisputed Era.
Yeah. Speaking of NXT, that would be a great one if they can bring back a TLC match like what we saw earlier today and use it at the NXT program. I would say who was a perfect, let's say for NXT, who would be a perfect fit for the tables? I would say the Undisputed Era. What about you?
That's another tough one. I think there's not many teams in NXT. From not watching very much because I've been busy.
And then for the tables, not the tables, the ladders. Who was that?
If it was a single person, if I could choose a ladder, I would choose Finn Balor.
Yeah, Finn Balor.
I don't really know, like I said, I don't really know a lot of teams for NXT, but if it was a single one, I'd have to go Finn Balor.
Me, I will go for Velvet Dreams. Because he loves the high flying with his elbow drops.
Absolutely.
And last but not least, chairs for NXT. Who do you got?
Well, let's see, for chairs, I would, back when Ciampa was a heel, I'd choose him.
Good question.
Maybe even Johnny Gargano. Because when he turned his back on, Ciampa back like a year or two ago, man, he attacked him with those chairs like constantly.
Okay, now third question, I think maybe, okay, this is the biggest question, third question. Now, since now, Edge and Christian, they're both retired. Except for Edge. We don't know that Edge will be back because this past SummerSlam, he speared, what's his name? Jinder Mahal. And then when he speared him, does it give us a hint that he might be back? What is your thoughts?
I'd say he might be back. I would like to see him interfere in one of these TLC matches on Sunday.
Yeah, that'd be great.
To show us that he's back. In what better way? TLC, Edge. Only thing I can think of. That'd be the perfect Sunday. Seeing Edge come back and spear someone. I'd watch it again.
But Christian, he's already retired because of his back issues, right?
Correct.
And then now let's go with the Dudley. Last time we saw the Dudley Boyz on TV, everybody was hyped up. Everybody was like happy that they were back. But I don't know what happened to that picture because it was going great. I thought something new from old to new with the Dudleys against New Day. But at the end, now I'm concerned. It's like, man, they really let the Dudleys down. It's like we thought that they were gonna have like one more chance winning the tag team belts, but they didn't because nowadays, especially fan favorites, is always about the New Day. But what was your thoughts of the Dudleys? Why that picture? Why they don't give them the belts, for one final appearance? What do you think?
Personally, I would love to see one more run. I know that they're old, but doesn't mean that they compete. I mean, just to give them one more championship run before they run off in the sunset. You see all these wrestlers, they retire, and and WWE tries to do like they call it a legendary deal where they can bring him back for a match or something. I would like to see it personally, them versus New Day, because they did compete, many years ago for those gold championship belts, but I would love to see them back as like one more good run, give them a championship run, and then, I know all wrestlers have to lose sometime, but at least give them at least a month run of a championship, so that way they can show that they're going to ride off into the sunset knowing they can compete, that they competed at the highest level in today's WWE versus back in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, because especially with the Dudleys, as far as we know that right now, Devon is working executive production backstage, and of course, Bubba Ray Dudley is probably retired or working another promotion, whatever he's doing. But as far as right now, is that the Dudleys, it's gonna take some while that we're gonna see another run from them. And then last but not least, Hardy Boys. What's on your opinion with Hardy's? What's your thoughts between Matt and Jeff Hardy? What do you think?
Right. It's like you're seeing all his look like he's doing like a throwback with his shirts and that, and it's cool to see Matt on TV, but it's not the same without Jeff, because you're used to them as a team.
Speaking of Matt, notice that I'm happy that he's back. I'm happy that he, like what you said, he got the old Atari back, right? But it's kind of sad that all his matches we just seen like past Monday Night Raw, he started losing.
You see, like this last week was in Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
McIntyre was gone for WWE for a while. Then he joined NXT, and then came up to the main roster. It looks like he's trying to change his character, and I think that's what these old wrestlers are doing today. Is they're helping phase in the new generation of wrestlers, such as Velveteen Dream if he comes to the main roster. I mean, you're seeing all these, when the WWE draft happens, you're seeing all these stars from NXT rising to the top. And I think that's kind of good, because, it brings in more character and it brings in more, story to, like, why do they have to put over old, the old people have to put over for the new people? Is so that, it just goes in line, like I say, you're facing the old and you bring in the new. But the old wrestlers are still getting paid, as part of their contract, but you're helping with character development, so that way that wrestler can, build up their character, so that way when they go into like a pay-per-view match or something with momentum, or if like a struggle, like you're losing a match and like you lost a match, and then the week after you come back, for example, Matt Hardy versus Drew, Drew, helped Matt, and then Matt helped them, just small things.
Just like I said, like I think these famous tag team, they have a purpose. Maybe it's you're right. Maybe it's that time that they are passing the torch. It's like, hey, let's see if you can beat me, and then let's see if you're, good. So, one of these days, it's like I'm gonna pass the torch to you, and then you can have like one of my famous legacy of using the tables, ladders, and chairs, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, passing the torch, but like you said, like with a weapon, it's small things that help a long way for characters to get to their top.
Yeah,
I think that's what's cool about WWE, in my opinion.
Yeah, with Matt, and speaking of Matt, what about Jeff Hardy? I don't know what to say about this, because Jeff Hardy, I wish he would come back, because with his problem issues, with everything what we see at social media, I hope one of these days that hope he can clear his mind. Hope Matt can help him so much, and see if he can control it, and so hard, because all the fans that still watch it, they really miss Jeff, number one, because he was like the best high flyer. And speaking of which, we did meet Jeff Hardy.
Insert photos here.
Oh yeah, insert photos here. Check this out. Yeah, see, I remember that night. It was
It was a women's respect wrestling event, and
Here at the state of
it
Colorado.
was up in Denver. So me and the guys were like, "Hey, let's go. Let's go to a wrestling show." And then it's cool. Jeff Hardy was there after the show. It was like a little after 1, but we were in line for a photo with Jeff, and that was a cool thing because I remember, like I said, we were watching WrestleMania 17, and when I got to meet him, oh man, dude, that was like a childhood lived memory come to life. And we met Lita.
Oh yeah,
I just wish I met Matt, and then I could say I met the Hardy Boys. I mean,
yeah, but we didn't met Matt. We met Jeff, and we met Lita, especially for me, twice. Yeah. I met Lita twice. That was great, and I want to say that Lita, thank you, because I did show Lita about my with my setup, and she did like it very much too. So Lita was pretty awesome. Lita and Trish, we met them too, and it was a great opportunity that we can relive and see all those wrestlers again from past to present,
I think that's what's cool about these Comic Cons. You see all these wrestlers coming back that you grew up watching. I mean, like you said, Lita, you met Trish, and even not Nicole, but just small wrestlers that that are doing public appearances in the state of Colorado. That's cool.
Cool.
You don't see, like they go to other Comic Cons. Like I would hope to go one day to go to the San Diego Comic Con because Becky Lynch shows there. Charlotte. All these other wrestlers. I'm sure they'll cost some money, but hey, I could say I met them. That's having a photo with them.
One of these days. Okay, last but not least, before we wrap it up, now it's TLC this coming Sunday. What's your prediction? What matches you predict this coming TLC? What's into your mind right now?
Well, I see Roman Reigns beating the daylights out of King Corbin because of what they did to him last week.
Definitely.
That was disrespectful.
I'm looking forward for the it's not the Fiend. It's Bray Wyatt himself against The Miz.
Hey, if The Miz wins, next time he comes, I'm bringing my championship out. I'm getting that autograph.
Yeah, definitely. What else matches looking forward to TLCs? The Kabuki Warriors. Not just kidding. Kabuki Warriors against Charlotte and Becky. Do you think Charlotte and Becky will win the tag team championships?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think Kairi Sane and her partner Asuka will retain. They'll figure a way to win.
Well, we'll see. At the TLC.
As much as I like to see Charlotte and Becky win, Becky's already a champion. I kind of would like to see the Warriors, retaining.
And then yeah. So it's been great. Everything is great. Ladies and gentlemen, we just watched the famous TLC of Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, the Hardy Boys, against Edge and Christian and the Dudley Boyz. And before we give our final thoughts, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Be sure to say if we're going to be going to the show at Rocky Mountain Pro, like I said, on December. What do you say, 26? Is it?
I think it's the last Friday of
December.
Mm-hmm.
If you're there, come say hi. We'll take pictures with you.
All right, man.
Just say hi to us. Maybe we'll give you a personal shout out on our next video.
Okay.
For being a fan or something.
Well, if you guys don't know, if you still want to check out episode 1 of Fanboys, you can click and check out in our channels our first episode at Spring is the Action. And if you want to check out Facebook, look at all the Facebook we did with our local wrestling, with Rocky Mountain Pro, So What, and everything. But other than that, is anything else? Final thoughts you want to say?
Yeah, this until our next show at Rocky Mountain Pro, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas. We'll be back, and we'll do this one last show in December, and we'll see you in 2020. Can you believe it?
Oh yeah, 2020 is gonna be real hot. A lot of things is coming us for Spring is the Action and every other promotion here in Colorado. We've been looking forward to it.
Well, thanks so much. Stay tuned. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Go to our Facebook page. Don't forget to hit that like button. We always upload as much as we can.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is Peter Rowell, and this is Nathan right here. And you're watching Fanboy Talk, episode 2. Thank you for watching. bring this down.